Hi everybody, Baldy's Battles in Miniature. This is going to be another DBA game. This is DBA Battle Report 4, Ancient Britons for a change, because I love my Ancient Britons, versus early Imperial Romans, and these are Reese's Romans. Clearly started taking pictures as we've already set up, we've already moved, so all the interesting and exciting things have already happened, so I do apologise. I'm going to continue to record it anyway, because I could do with a practice. So this has obviously got the warbands been advancing through the middle. We've actually got a built-up area for the first time, which is on the left-hand side. Got a difficult hill. Think there were another couple of woods in my deployment zone, which is why that unit of warband are on their own, because they couldn't all fit together as a group to start moving forward. I think I can only imagine that's the only reason I'd have done that. And here's a built-up area. So again, we must be 2 or 3 turns in, because obviously these are the light cavalry facing off against some auxiliary which had been in the built-up area. I'm fairly certain that what happened here is the auxiliary went and hit my front unit of cavalry. So that caused them to turn to face. They're not a group, so obviously they wouldn't both turn to face, and even if they would both turn to face, there's not enough room, so I presume it's just one unit turns to face in this circumstance. And over here, the enemy was learning why it's not necessarily a good idea to put Roman blades on a difficult hill. To be honest, again, we're only 2 or 3 games in, so we're still learning with it all. And obviously I don't think he really anticipated how much it would slow him down. So the auxiliary won, which pushed my horse back, and pretty much like in the last battle report I did, except on the other side of the table, I believe I get pushed back or recoil, I hit the edge of the table, I turn so I'm backing down towards my edge, and then I get pushed down for the rest of my move. And because I'm forced to be pushed down the table, I presume that means I can move at 90 degrees to his threat zone, because it's not my choice to do so, I'm being forced to do so. Which again, I'm sure we'll work out one day whether we're right. I got a couple of pips, managed to turn the cavalry round, so first unit went in and hit the auxiliary. My second one went and lined up, which I believe I am allowed to do because I'm now in the threat zone of the other auxiliary. But all I've done is I've lined up to face them, so again, I'm fairly certain that's perfectly legit. And here we come, my warband come crashing in, ready for the inevitable murder on either side. And the Romans come up actually. The Romans got some good dice, so I think he actually needed 4 pips to get there, because he's moved the 2 blades on his left hand side came forward as a group. His general came forward as one because he was in that bad terrain, and then the other unit of blades moved forward 1 as well. On this side, the auxiliary come in, so obviously they've got rid of the advantage of those other auxiliary being overlapped. And on this side, we managed to do a quick kill. So there's 1 dead Roman base. You can't quite see it on this image, but just on the right hand side, you can see obviously that's his general that's pushed back. So I think he's forced me back on that side. So his generals obviously won and pushed me. There we go, better picture of it. So his generals won and pushed me back. 1 unit of horse hold. The other unit of horse get pushed back. And somehow I've turned to face to run down the edge of my table. I suppose it's not really causing any harm at the moment, but it looks a bit odd. and this unit actually pushes those auxiliary back. So it's fisticuffs on this side of the table. And obviously now the Romans start to get a little bit worried as my boss manages to go around and hit the right-hand side blades and manage to get some support going with them. And this other unit of blades gets onto his general. So obviously his general's now overlapped. He has got a little bit of space behind him if he gets pushed. Oh no, actually it's fair, yes, you're quite right. He can't get pushed back because if he did get pushed back he'd be dead because obviously I'm a fast warband. So the blade on the hill gets killed. There's a picture of my warband. Obviously had to pursue. This side, obviously, the light horse are doing a pretty good job of holding up the auxiliary, or the auxiliary doing a pretty good job of holding the light horse. I'm not quite sure which. Maybe the auxiliary event, because obviously they seem to be pushing me back. And here's his general. His general's a beast as a Roman bladed general. Quite tough, but it looks like he's getting surrounded. And when I say it looks like he's getting surrounded, he's absolutely getting surrounded. So I think I ended up getting 6 for my activation. And obviously I've got him overlapped on both sides and the rear. The unit that's in front of him is supported. So if he loses, he's all kind of dead. And I'm guessing I'm on a good advantage here. This unit actually just advanced a little bit forward. More to keep some of his supporting stuff from coming in to help, just on the off chance that his general manages to survive. But unfortunately, his general doesn't survive. So obviously, with it being 2 for a general, that is the game to me. Really all came down to the Romans going on that hill, which I know there'll be lots of you tutting. How can we not know not to do things like this? But obviously, I suppose it's part of us learning. It's possibly not the best battle report I've ever put together, seeing as I've completely forgotten to take half the pictures. But I'm going to keep them going, keep it up, and I'll hopefully slowly, gradually get better. I'm really trying really hard not to say all the time, which is very difficult, particularly when you're trying not to say it. So that was the end of that battle. Thank you very much.